Hey everybody, off the Mike Sports Network here. Some Cavs content here, NBA wise. So the Cleveland Cavaliers, they are now 46-10. They play the Memphis Grizzlies later on Sunday. Um, Man, this team is unbelievable. They won 142 to 105 over the New York Knicks, who were supposed to be one of the closest competing teams to them in the Eastern Conference. And I've said this on multiple videos. I think the only threat, there's two threats to the Cleveland Cavaliers this year. One is themselves, and two is the Boston Celtics. And then, maybe we'll make a third, the Oklahoma City Thunder, if we get to that point in the NBA Finals, which would be the only real roadblock to them stopping them from making history and winning another championship. It would be the second one in a decade, which is remarkable for this organization. But we need to start having a conversation, and love my friend Lane Weiss. She is a delight. One of the she is the queen of hoops snark on Twitter, and I love her to bits. She's not gonna like what I'm about to say. I think Evan Mobley, from that 2021 NFL and NBA draft, I almost said NFL because Evan Mobley, if you put on some beef, could play in the NFL. Evan Mobley. Everybody talks about Cade Cunningham, and he's having a remarkable season for the Detroit Pistons. But I think Evan Mobley's ceiling, and I've always thought this because I covered Evan Mobley when he played that 1 year at USC. I always thought that Evan Mobley could be the best player. I didn't think he was going to be pick number one, but I always thought that Evan Mobley was going to be the best player out of that 2021 draft, which Jalen Green, now playing for the Houston Rockets, is having a great run. Cade Cunningham was the number one pick for the Detroit Pistons. And hi, Robbie Triano and Ryan Field, the other two Detroit Pistons fans that I know. You're not going to be happy about this. Evan Mobley is on a trajectory right now, and he was kind of just floundering and just freelancing a little bit because they didn't know how to develop him. This year, he's playing less than 30 minutes. He's having the best season of his career, and he might win Defensive Player of the Year. Evan Mobley, think about this. This guy isn't even mid-20s yet. It's frightening. If he continues on the trajectory that he is continuing on, he's going to be the Cavs' best player, and he could be approaching best player in the NBA status. That's how good this guy can be. And I feel like we're only hitting the surface of what Evan Mobley can become this season. Like, he made an all-star game. He had all these great statistics and everything. He's got, with Victor Wembanyama now unfortunately out for the season. This leads me to my other point of this, in that he might win Defensive Player of the Year, and it may not be close because of some of the numbers that he is putting up. He is averaging almost 2 blocks a game, 1.6 blocks per game. Evan Mobley is third on the team in scoring at 18.6 per game. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. Guys, Evan Mobley is the most important team to this Cleveland Cavaliers team. Whenever he is not playing, this team has struggled. And he could be on that Giannis trajectory because he's starting to shoot threes and make them. So I'm sorry to Detroit Pistons fans who are going to get hurt by this. Evan Mobley is a franchise-changing player. Cade Cunningham is a great player, and he's going to probably have a phenomenal career. And he was more than justified to be taken as the number one pick in the 2021 draft. But Evan Mobley is going to be, when we look back on this, health permitting, Evan Mobley is going to be the best player in this draft. And he could potentially be, we could be looking at this in 5 years. Evan Mobley might be the best player in basketball. That is how talented this guy is. 18 points a game. He's averaging 9 rebounds. He's got 3 assists. He handles the ball well. He's shooting threes. And he's not even averaging 30 minutes a game. Lowest minutes output that he's had. That's the genius part of what Kenny Atkinson has done with this team. And it's really remarkable what a coach has done to change this entire outlook of this roster. The Cavs could easily win the NBA championship, but the guy who's going to be at the heart of this organization, at the heart of this franchise for years to come, is Evan Mobley. And I think people need to recognize what we're watching and what we're seeing now if you fast track this a few years down the road, this guy could be the best player in basketball. I'm not even exaggerating when I say that. You could call me a homer or whatnot, but I saw potential in this guy. Yes, he's got the lanky frame, 7 feet tall, but he's got the defensive ability. He's got the offensive ability. And once he rounded this thing into form, which you're starting to see this year after just a few years in the league, if he continues on this trajectory and keeps progressing, it's not going to be close. He is going to be the best player in the 2021 NBA draft. And he's going to be, when we look back on this further down the line, maybe the best player in basketball. Because I see a lot of Giannis in this guy. And remember, Giannis took forever to really round himself into form and really mold himself. This guy's just getting started. What is he, 22, 23 years old? It's insane how much growth this kid has. So anyway, think about that for a second. I'm sorry to the Detroit Pistons fans who subscribe to this channel, but I have known this because of what I've seen from him when I covered him at USC. Not a lot of people saw him because it was the COVID year. Not a lot of people got to see into buildings. Nobody really got to understand. And then the Cavs were in this, groundwork, the groundswell era, and they really didn't tap into what Evan Mobley's potential was. Now with Kenny Atkinson, this team's scary, man. And this guy is scary. So recognize that Evan Mobley's coming, people. And I think everybody's just dismissing it and saying, like, I've seen redrafts and stuff, and people are getting mad. Oh, Kate Cunningham's getting disrespected. It was like, guys, trust me, as a guy who covered college basketball in the Pac-12, I've known the potential of this guy. And if it ever got rounded into form and he ever found the right coach and the right system around him, this guy could turn into the best player in the league. And we could be looking around in 2030 and Evan Mobley is the MVP and one of the best players in all of basketball. That's the way this thing is going. And if the Cavs win the championship this year, yikes. I mean, the only thing stopping the Cavs at this point is the second apron. Because that's what sucks about the modern NBA is they are preventing these teams to mold themselves through the draft and through genius trades like what the Cavs have done. And it's led to situations like where we're at right now. So again, sorry to my Detroit Pistons fans if I offended you, but I really believe firmly in this, that Evan Mobley, even at just 30 minutes a game, having the best season of his career, might win Defensive Player of the Year. This guy's on his way to doing some amazing things in basketball. Anyway, I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye.